Hey believers, thank you for being here. Today I'm going to give a lesson using a small whiteboard. I forgot I had this since I moved here, so I put it in the wall of my living room, and now I'm going to teach you using visuals. I haven't done this in a while, but I haven't unlearned it, so let me just put this a bit closer here. Yes. Hold on. We can't go higher. Well, okay, this should be good. The topic of today is going to be human sexuality. I've received questions from believers concerning human sexuality from a spiritual and energetic point of view. So I'll continue on the subject. So what I want you to do now is to look at the whiteboard. What do you see? You see two sheets of paper, both A4s. Here you have dots with a blue glow around them. Here you have dots with a red glow around them. Let me zoom in so you can see them. Dots with a blue glow. Then you go over here, dots with a red glow. Blue glow, red glow. Let me zoom out. Okay. So, why did I make these dots with glows around them, one blue, one red? It's to help you to understand the following. What I'm going to do now is to highlight why those dots are there. Because you see dots on a sheet of paper. Are those just dots, or is there something else going on? That's the first lesson right over here. When you see something, look beyond what you're seeing. Don't just see something and think, okay, I see this. Okay, what are you actually looking at? You can see a tree, and then you say, yeah, I'm seeing a tree. But wait a minute, how many trees are there? Oh, like more than 40? Oh, so are you only seeing a tree, or are you seeing a forest? Big difference. So, blue glow, red glow. Let's start off with the red, shall we? Yes, let me zoom a little bit more. Good. So here, you have a straight line. Well, you see the arrows here that point towards the right. Yes. Dots at the top, dots below. Let's call the dots over here a high or euphoria. Let's call this here one a down, or we call it depression. Okay? Yes, you can see it clearly. Now we're going to do the following. What's going on here? Just how to continue on and on and on. What you see here is a cycle. And through this cycle, you have a pattern that follows. So you have the middle pattern that shows the direction of the cycle, and you have the repetition. Because every cycle has a direction and repetition. You can note it down. Every cycle has a direction and a repetition. So, you can see clearly what the pattern is. You can see the repetition, you can see the direction, so you can predict what's about to happen. Now, let's go to the other side, shall we? Want to walk around. So let's begin like this. Color it a little bit. Here, all these dots are G points. As you can see here, this direction also just like with this one. So there's a direction. Now I'm going to zoom out. Zoom in a little bit more. Yes. What is the difference between the two? And what does that have to do with human sexuality? Here, on the blue side, you have a direction and you have movement. Here, there is direction, just like here, there's a direction, and there are dots, but there is no movement. So here you have movement, here you have no movement. In a cycle, there is no movement. There's only repetition. Here, you have movement. So it's not only is there a direction, but it's actually moving. And this is called this is the frequency of fear. This is the frequency of faith. This one, the result is abundance. Hold on. Yes, this one is abundance. This one is scarcity. I don't care if I spelled correctly or not. This is just to teach you. Scarcity, yeah, I believe I've written it well. On this British English. Okay, but anyway. So, this is the frequency of faith, the frequency of fear. Here, there's no movement, only a repetition in a direction. Here you have a direction and there is movement. And this is the frequency most people operate on. This is where God wants us to operate. Now the human being is a sexual being from the core, and we are energy creatures. When Adam was created, he was supposed to become the manager of the earth realm. And as the manager of earth realm, he was supposed to manage the earth with his energetic abilities, together with Eve and the rest of the human population who would come forth out of them. So human sexuality is a social tool to achieve that purpose, to manage the earth, so that there is abundance on the earth for everyone. So in order to achieve this, human sexuality must be in harmony with one another. If it's not, you'll get this over here. Because this brings for scarcity, it has one toxic side effect, that is pollution. Hold on, I forgot. This one I need to use. Yes, it brings forth pollution. And this pollution will bring forth physical discomfort, whether it is in the form of diseases or other type of toxic waste. So the fear frequency will always bring ruin in the long run. The faith frequency, which is the original natural frequency we ought to operate on, always brings forth abundance. So, your sexuality as human being is either in line with this frequency over here or with this one. So if it's not in line with this one over here, which is God's design, then you're on this part producing pollution. So, being on this frequency in line with Christ, that's called holiness. And let me clarify one thing. Holiness is the outworking of your walk by faith. Your agreement with Christ is righteousness, and the outworking of this agreement is holiness. That means having a whole life that's covered with abundance. That's holiness. So poverty and holiness don't go hand in hand. Absolutely not. Right, one more time. Yes. If, again, you don't operate in righteousness, then you're operating in sin, or, as I always call sin, it is relief seeking, because you're seeking relief from the challenges of existence, and because you're not in movement, you're looking for a repetition to avoid difficulty. So, relief seeking. And when you are in relief seeking, your sexuality is polluted and it becomes sexual filth. Let's see if it's still on scope. Hold on. Yes. It's still on. Apologies, believers, but okay, you can see it clearly now. And this sexual filth can happen in various ways. It can happen in a toxic agreement, which is the wedlock agreement. My apologies, it's a wedlock. It can happen in a commercial setting, then it's prostitution. If it's in a commercial setting without the actual financial remuneration, it's called whoredom. When it's just to get on high, to escape difficulties in daily life, like getting a high, the same way to get a high from drugs is fornication. And if you are in a sexual union with someone from the opposite sex, but you can advantage of that individual with someone else, then it's adultery. So adultery, wedlock, prostitution, whoredom, fornication, it's all sexual filth based on operating on this low frequency of fear, which we were never supposed to operate on. Because all of these are ways to seek relief from the challenge God designed for us. It is to manage the earth so there's life and abundance for all of us. So I'm going to leave it for 10 more seconds so you can look at it. Yes. And then we need to zoom out. All right. Good. As I've explained on this whiteboard, our sexuality is part of our being. We're designed to be sexual because that's how we're designed as spirit beings. But our sexuality is meant for there to be life and abundance on the earth. Not just life in making babies, but also in how we relate to one another. Males, just like Adam, communicate to the earth directly as energetic beings. When the Most High created Adam, what was the first thing the Most High did? He put him to work. What was Adam doing? Giving names and places to the animal kingdom. Adam was placed in charge of the animal kingdom. Yes, he was placed in charge of it. Adam was placed in charge of the wild beasts, the fowls of the air, the fish of the sea, and all the other creepy things on the earth. He was in charge of it, which includes viruses and bacteria. Yes, and Adam had to give names and place to all of them. So Adam was building a context. Why was Adam building a context? Because God told him to. Why? While Adam was building this context of how they would relate to one another, he realized, hold on a minute, why am I doing this on my own? Then Adam was looking for some creature to be his assistant and to do it with him. The Lord already knew what the Lord was about to do, so the Lord tolerated him to look for a partner, and eventually he got exhausted. He was thinking, Lord, why am I supposed to manage this whole place all by myself? So the Lord caused him to sleep. The Lord took a rib out of him and he formed a woman. What was the first thing Adam noticed about the female very quickly? He realized that the woman is just like him. And he realized that this creature is just as energetic as he is, as a spirit being, but that this creature, the woman, always seeks for some male cover to function under. And Adam understood from observing the animal kingdom that it was his purpose to procreate with this creature from the opposite sex who is of the same kind as he is. Because Adam saw with the animals that you had a male and a female. So he realized, oh, there's a female counterpart of me also. So Adam knew that he had to procreate sooner or later, but Adam was still building the context of the earth for the human species that would come out of them. So look at this. Adam was building a context. That's what men's supposed to do. Men's supposed to be active. Males are heavy creatures. A male is not designed to lay on the floor all day long expecting to just happen. No. We're designed to be active, and we are the most healthiest when we are active. The female came when the context was being built, and she co-built and co-managed it with Adam. So they complement one another. That is healthy sexuality. Males are in direct communication with the earth. Females also communicate with the earth under the cover of a male in her life. That's how we're designed. That's why even Adam said that every male being who will be born out of him would sooner or later get away from the energetic cover of his parents, because Adam realized he as a man, he's quite active, and sooner or later he will find a woman who will become his partner, and they will bring forth children. But look at this. It's the man that goes out, and it's the man that seeks to build the context, and the woman comes in. The female doesn't go out and build a context. She doesn't. She stays under the cover of her father and her community till her husband comes. And once her husband is there, she now is energized by the investment of her husband, and she builds with her husband and the community of which the husband is a part of. That's how the human economy ought to operate. So, this works perfectly well as God intended it to be when you walk by faith, which is in complete confidence in Christ. When you don't trust Christ, then you're not able to face the challenge of the assignment we have, which is to manage the earth so that there's life in abundance for all of us. What happens then is that everyone wants relief from this big challenge, because you can't handle this challenge on your own. You're not meant to. Adam couldn't handle it on his own, but he wasn't designed to. So this is the state, the default state of human species right now, seeking relief from this challenge. And in its relief seeking, there will be pollution, there will be conflict, and when it comes to sexuality, we downgrade. So sexual filth is a downgrade of your capacity as a spirit being. But when you walk by faith, now you operate on the level, and now you operate in the health Christ designed for you, and when you operate like this, there's abundance coming out of you. So, human sexuality isn't just to go into the bathroom, take off your clothes, do your thing. That's a physical expression of human sexuality, but it's not the only one. Everything you do has a sexual connotation to it because you're a sexual being. And sexuality begins here in the mind. So if here you operate on a faith level, that's fine. If you operate on this one over here, you're in trouble. That's how simple it is. There is no in between. Because this over here is a downgrade of this one. This one over here is how demons operate. Demons operate on this frequency over here, which is a cycle. We're supposed to be in movement. And which direction do we follow? The direction of the Holy Spirit who guides us. And males are designed to be guides in the household and guides in their communities. So a husband is the guide of his household, as a father, and of course as a husband also. Then men in general who become older, become elders in the community that guide the sexuality in the community. And that's how it's supposed to be. And females often become role models in fulfilling their purpose as the co-creators and decorators in the community. So, operate like this, and you'll never face the destructive consequence of this over here. Operate like this, and you only get extended relief with the assistance of demons. That's what a lot of people do. Don't go there. Well, if you have questions, ask them in the comment section or send me an email. Be at peace.